Okay. At times of war, refugees are used by political actors and human traffickers alike to generate profits, right? And when the lemon is squeezed, the refugees are once again used as a punching bag to blame all the hardships that your country is suffering from on the refugees, from the economic crisis, unemployment, and even security turbulences. Now, a decade ago, Erdogan's government perceived the refugee crisis as an opportunity to score a few political goals. One, to withdraw legitimacy from the Damascus government by saying that, look, all these people are escaping the Assad government, so he should be doing something wrong and committing crimes against him. So Assad lost legitimacy. So we have to help the refugees. The second goal was to cause a demographic change inside Syria. And the third was later to blackmail Europe and ask by the refugees and ask for billions of dollars in exchange for sealing the borders with Greece. Now, in 2022, however, the refugee issue has become a burden on the Turkish ruling elite. Even the opposition parties who were once silent on the matter and not saying much, now they are voicing their objection on keeping the refugees, Syrian refugees whose number are around 3.5 million Syrian refugees. But most of the, I would say, the objections are coming from racist parties, and especially radical ultranationalist groups in Turkey. And they resorted to a very racist rhetoric against the refugees in order to mobilize the Turkish people against the Syrian refugees. Now, I will show you an article published on Al Monitor. Far-right Turkish leader likens Syrian refugees to garbage, vows expulsion. Ultranationalist Meral Eksener's plans include isolating migrants in concentration camps and forcing them to return to their countries of origin against their will under a formal policy of refoulement. So it's like a forced deportation, refoulement, I think. A top right-wing opposition leader in Turkey has vowed to kick out all Syrian refugees by 2026, saying Turkey has become an immigrant warehouse and a near garbage dump for Europe, which doesn't want them. Meral Aksener, the leader of the far-right İyi or Good Party, says she is ready to meet with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in Syria to fix the problem. Here is the problem here. Lots of these opposition like leaders in Turkey, they think that the president or the Syrian government will wholeheartedly and with open arms just accept to receive 3.5 million refugees from Turkey. That's not how things work. First of all, from the Damascus perspective, these refugees are a result of an aggressive policy from Turkey by destroying the infrastructure in Syria, by supporting terrorist organizations in Syria, and by also direct military intervention. And from the Damascus point of view, there are lots of people from Syria, they escaped the war, whether they came under direct attack or not, but there was a security situation. So these people escaped for one reason or another. So we have to solve the reasons why this has happened. So if these Turkish politicians think they can go to Damascus and ask Assad or anyone in Syria to receive all these refugees, I think they are mistaken. This is my evaluation, because from the Damascus point of view, there should be a larger compromise that includes Turkey and other European countries. First, from Turkey, they should stop supporting terrorists in Syria. They should withdraw from the Syrian territories. They should dismantle the terrorist groups in Idlib. And also from the European side, they should lift the sanctions so that Syria can recover, reconstruct, and heal so that they can receive the refugees. Because 3 million is a very big burden on the economy of Syria. And if the sanctions, illegal sanction regimes continue, I don't think Syria has the capacity to receive 3 million Syrian refugees. So Aksener blamed the country's president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and his ruling Justice and Development Party as she introduced her party's immigration doctrine and strategic action plan, under which an estimated 3.7 million Syrians would be repatriated, and Turkey's demographic composition and Turkey's identity would be protected. Aksener asserted that there are at least 8 million refugees currently in Turkey, the largest refugee population in the world. Her plan outlines a series of draconian measures, including isolating illegal migrants in concentration camps and forcing them to return to their countries of origin against their will under a formally declared policy of refoulement. Syrian refugees will be prevented from accessing public parks and beaches in ways that would disrupt societal tranquility and stripped of their current benefits. I mean, look, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think this is not a surprising statement. We know from the Ottoman days the way the Ottomans looked on the Arabs from a position of arrogance, from a position of pride, from a position that you're subhumans, you know, like there is an Arabic saying, Turkish saying, Arab millat, pis millat. They say it's like an Arabic people, dirty people. Like we know this from history, how the Ottomans used to see the Arabs, right? And because of this new Turkish policy that they want to just get rid of the refugees in Turkey, in my opinion, there are different types of refugees. And I would specify two. One, they are anti-Assad and they have done and said a lot against the government. So they are afraid to come back despite the presidential pardon by Assad. And there is no trust. They don't trust the Syrian government. And there is the media outlets telling them day and night that if you go back to Syria, you will be murdered and they will be sent to jail and then you will die in a bunker somewhere inside a prison. This is what the media tells them. So they don't want to go back. Part of them, they don't want to go back. And another part asking, why would they go back? Even if they want to. The economic situation is very dire. There is a high big unemployment and opportunities are very dire. People are suffering to secure their bread, their heating, their electricity, etc., etc. So why would they go back? So here comes the question. Why the European Union and the United States aren't making things easier for Syrians by lifting the sanctions, right? So they could, if the refugees want to voluntarily go back, at least those who want to voluntarily go back to Syria, they could go back. So the European Union and the United States is making the lives of Syrians inside Syria and outside Syria way more difficult. And now I want to share with you this article, which is correlated, in my opinion, with the first one. So, eyeing new life in Europe, Syrian refugees plan to reach continent via caravans. This is a new campaign by Syrian refugees in Turkey. A group of Syrian refugees in Turkey is planning to form a caravan to reach the European Union, organizers said Saturday. Plans are being drawn up online via Telegram channel, set up 6 days ago, so it's like a week ago, and followed by almost 70,000 people. Organizers are calling on people to bring sleeping bags, tents, life jackets, water, canned food, and first aid kits. We will announce it when it's time to go, one organizer, a 46-year-old refugee who wished to remain anonymous, told the AFP. Some of the organizers are already living in the EU. Organizers say the caravan will split into groups of up to 50 people, each led by a supervisor. We have been in Turkey for 10 years, read one message posted on the channel by an administrator. We are protected, but Western countries must share the burden. There are 3.7 million refugees officially living in Turkey. So this group of people, they're organizing themselves on Telegram channels, and there are so many I would say maps and routes. They're also specifying people how they can arrive to Europe and which destination they want to go to. They are helping each other to arrive in Europe. But will Turkey open the borders now with Greece? This is an important question. Let's see. And how will Greece and the European Union react in this regard? This is also another question. Because in my opinion, the European Union is in front of a big dilemma now. Would they receive hundreds of thousands of new refugees, which may lead to the rise of the right-wing scene further in Europe, because we know after the refugee crisis, the right-wing groups, they have gained momentum in several European countries. So what would happen now if another hundreds of thousands of refugees arrive in, and those are not like European refugees, blue eye, white skin, blah, blah, blah. Those are from Middle Eastern countries. So will there be a big reaction by the people? So those are really important questions. So my question is here, which policy is more convenient for the interests of the European Union? Is it to receive hundreds of thousands of new refugees from the Middle East, or by lifting the sanctions on Syria and helping Syria to recover, to heal, to reconstruct, so that those who want to go back to Syria voluntarily, they could go back? So really, this is a really important question. Which one is more convenient for the European Union? Please let me know in the comments below, because in my humble opinion, the Europeans aren't helping themselves in this regard. So if they want to really help the Syrian refugees, first they should solve the root causes of the refugee crisis in Syria, the war, who caused the war, why the war was triggered, and how can we minimize the damages of this war. And the least to say is lift the sanctions on Syria and help the Syrians inside Syria and outside of Syria. So this was a quick overview of the refugee crisis, which is a renewed refugee crisis in Turkey, and it will have its repercussions on Europe if tens of thousands of Syrians reach to the European continent, and it could also have a bigger influence over the political scene of the left and the right. So let's see how this will develop. But what do you think about this? Do you think Turkey has the right to deport all the Syrian refugees? Do you think there should be at least a coordination with the Syrian government? Do you think Turkey is blackmailing Europe now in this regard? And why Turkey at this particular moment is blackmailing Europe and weaponizing this issue again against the European Union? Let me know your opinions in the comments below. I've been your host, Caravan of Syriana Analysis. If you're new, please subscribe and hit the like button. And also, if you want to support my work, you can become a patron or so many other means in the description below. It's a great financial help to me, guys. Thank you so much, and see you next time.